Zane was taken aback by how forward Barnabas was. He had been minding his own business, and then suddenly, the young man had offered to join forces with him during the test. When Barnabas saw him frown, his smile faded away, and he turned bright red with embarrassment.
I'm so sorry. My family always says I ramble when I'm nervous. If you want, I'll leave you alone and we can pretend this conversation never happened.
Just as he was about to scuttle away, Zane smiled warmly at him.
It's fine. I was just a little taken aback, that's all. My name's Zane, and I'm from Kintyre County. I'd be delighted if you had my back from now on.
Barnabas's broad grin resurfaced, and he proudly patted his chest.
You can trust me. Let's tackle this together. Ask me anything you want.
Zane was touched by his offer. He knew that the Five Spirits sect was a sacred place for martial artists to cultivate their skills. But aside from that, he was virtually clueless.
Do you know what the test is about?
Barnabas seemed a little surprised by the query.
Don't you already know? Then again, I guess you probably wouldn't if you're from Kintyre County.
Zane was even more confused than ever.
What do you mean?
There's something you're probably not aware of. The Five Spirits sect usually recruits people from big counties, or from Terran City itself. Kintyre County isn't exactly on their radar.
Zane nodded. His home county was only a tiny backwater within the Yarrow Kingdom, so it made sense that the sect would gloss over it when looking for new recruits. Zane and Barnabas continued to chat as they followed the large crowd, and Zane soon realized that Barnabas was the type of man who wore his heart on his sleeve and couldn't keep anything to himself. The forthright young man told Zane everything he knew about the previous tests. To join the sect, hopefuls would have to endure 4 trials. The first would test their physical fitness and strength. The second trial was perhaps the most important one, and it determined if a participant possessed a spirit body. Talent was always more valuable than status to the sect. No matter how noble someone was, they wouldn't even be allowed to step through the gates if they were lacking in ability. The third and fourth tests remained mysteries to Barnabas. Soon they stopped in the middle of a vast expanse of land. All around them, potential recruits, numbering in the thousands, were standing by themselves or in small groups. Some had eager looks on their faces, while others were pacing back and forth to calm their nerves. Noisy chatter filled the air, along with laughter and even the odd raised voice. The hopefuls were dressed in all manner of different clothing, making it easy to distinguish the foreigners from the citizens of the Yarrow Kingdom. Middle-aged men at the first or second stage of the foundation level mixed with teens who had reached the 6th stage of body tempering. Some had been born into noble families, but most of the participants were from ordinary backgrounds, like Zane and Barnabas. Zane watched the scene play out before him, and his initial uneasiness once again bubbled to the surface. When he looked up, he spotted a giant eagle sparrow flying above the complex, emitting a terrifying aura that signified the completion of the 2nd stage of the foundation level. As the creature descended, its colossal wings stirred up a whirlwind of dust in its wake. Down on the ground, everyone was forced to cover their eyes. But Zane managed to peek through the gaps in his fingers to see 2 people atop the magnificent creature. He was truly shocked that someone would be able to tame a foundation-level beast and make it their mount. Regardless of their cultivation skills, he knew they had to be from an extraordinary family, as that wasn't something that ordinary people could hope to achieve. When the bird landed, its 2 passengers jumped down to the ground. One of them was an impressively strong man with bulging muscles. His gray hair signaled that he was a little older, but his gaze was sharp and he had not yet lost the majesty of his youth. Standing next to him was a beautiful young woman with long, flowing hair that framed her delicate facial features. When she smiled, she immediately drew everyone's attention, and the crowd began to openly gossip about her identity. One man laughed raucously and nudged his friend.
Can you believe that the Divination Pavilion is using an eagle sparrow as a mount? They really are filthy rich.
Long time no see, Jared. What's it been? About 10 years? What are you doing here?
He walked over to greet them, followed by a younger man who couldn't take his eyes off the young woman.
Why shouldn't I be here? If your family can bring disciples here, then why can't the Divination Pavilion?
He clearly didn't want to speak to the man who had greeted him, but that didn't stop the man from turning to the young woman.
You must be Elena. You're as beautiful as the rumors suggest.
Yes, that's my name. It's nice to meet you, sir.
As a member of the Divination Pavilion, she spoke with a commanding but melodious voice that had the power to send people into a trance. Straight away, her young male admirer gulped nervously and then took a step toward her.
I'm Kurt Colby. I hope we'll have plenty of time to get to know each other. If you need anything, I'll be happy to oblige.
Elena wasn't the slightest bit interested in him, so she turned her head to sweep her gaze over the crowd, pausing when she caught sight of Zane. When Zane noticed, he glanced at Barnabas and frowned.
What in the world is the Divination Pavilion? And who the hell is Kurt Colby?
Can't wait for more? Catch the next episode tomorrow. And if you are ready to binge the whole series, download our app now. Tap the link in our bio to start your journey.